I'd like to look at a technique to investigate polynomials, and that's polynomial division. And we have a lot of reasons why we would want to divide polynomials. Several of those are to find factors, also that knowing a factor also helps us find solutions to polynomial equations. So there's a lot of good reasons for why we'd want to divide polynomials, like this. So here we've got a polynomial 3x cubed minus 5x squared plus x minus 8 divided by x minus 3. How are we going to do such a division? Well, there's already a method that you know of how to divide, and that's long division. So if we had to divide two numbers, let's say 7,213 by 61, what would you do? Not pick up your calculator. If we were to do this by hand, what would you do? Well, we would take this division and we would write it a different way. We'd use the long division algorithm. What we'd do is we'd start off with the 61. So put the 61 right here. And we draw the division bar. We'd put the 7,213 underneath it. And then what would we do? Well, we'd say, okay, we've got 61. How many times does that go into 7? Of course it doesn't. All right, so we'd have to move on to the next place value, 72. How many times does 61 go into 72? It goes once. So we put a 1 up here, and then we multiply. 1 times 61 is 61. And then we subtract. So we're going to take 72 minus 61, and that is 11. All right, and now we bring down the next one, so we have 111. And then we ask the question again, how many times does 61 go into 111? Well, that's still once. 61. We'll subtract. And we have, let's see, 450. Because 50 plus 61 is 111. Bring down the 3. And then we need to ask how many times does 61 go into 503. And I believe that's going to be 8 times. Let's just try 8. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 6 is 48. So we'll subtract. Let's see, we've got 4 here, 9 here, 13, so 5, 1. So 15. All right, we're out of decimal places, so if we take 7,213 and divide it by 61, we get 118 with a remainder of 15. So we could write the answer here as 118 plus 15 over the divisor, 61. Okay, well, it's the same procedure that we will use to divide this polynomial. So we've got the part right here that's being divided by x minus 3. This is the divisor. And we'll take the divisor, x minus 3, and put it into the polynomial here, 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus x minus 8. And then we'll follow the same procedure. So we'll take that first term. How many times does x minus 3? Well, we don't have to worry about that. We've got two terms. What we'll try to do is try to write something here that when we multiply, as if we multiplied here to write it here, we're going to write something here that when multiplied by the x minus 3 gives us something that will cancel out this term when we subtract. So the term here is 2x cubed, and that first term here is going to be an x, so we're really missing it. We're missing a 2, first off, then we're missing an x squared. Okay, so I'll put the 2x squared. Now I know if I multiply this by the x, we'll get 2x cubed, which will then be subtracted away. It'll be 0 after we subtract. So that's good. And also I'm putting the 2x squared in this position above the negative 5x squared. I'm trying to keep columns here with the appropriate powers of x. So we've got x cubed, x squared, x to the first, and then constants. Right. If this polynomial were missing any of them, we'd want to include that column. We'll do more examples of that later. Okay, so 2x squared times x is going to be 2x cubed, and then 2x squared times negative 3 is negative 6x squared. All right, and now we subtract. And when you subtract, you have to be careful. For positive terms, they'll change sign. So this is actually negative x cubed, which will cancel here. We'll get 0. Here we have negative 6x squared, but it's subtracted, so it's plus. So we have negative 5x squared plus 6x squared. That's just x squared. All right, and just like in the division algorithm, we bring down the next term, plus x, and then we'll repeat the process. What do we need to multiply x by to get x squared? Just x, so plus x times x squared, x times negative 3, negative 3x. And then we subtract. So x squared minus x squared is 0, minus a negative 3x, so that's plus 3x, plus x is 4x. Bring down the 8, and keep going. So we need a 4, so plus 4. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. And then we subtract. These go away. We have negative 8 plus 12 is 4. Okay, so this polynomial, 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus x minus 8 divided by x minus 3 is 2x squared plus x plus 4 plus the remainder of 4 over x minus 3.